Missouri is not a swing state in the national elections for president. We have a pretty good idea about how that's going to turn out. But there is a ballot issue that's getting national attention. Missouri voters are being asked to vote yes or no on Amendment 3, a constitutional amendment which would make abortion legal again in Missouri, ending the state's near-total abortion ban. There are clearly strong feelings on both sides, but pro-choice Democratic State Senator Tracy McCreary and pro-life lobbyist Sam Lee do agree on one thing.
Whatever happens in November, it's not going away.
That is true.
I think legislative session will be really interesting this year.
Anna Spurry has been covering this issue for the Missouri Independent.
Whether this amendment passes or fails, I think it's going to be far from the last we hear about this.
Whichever way the vote goes, there's a good chance the issue will be back on the ballot maybe as early as 2026. Pro-life forces could try to reverse approval if it passes, or prevent further efforts if it fails.
I know of lawmakers in Jefferson City who are going to be coming back with a different constitutional amendment.
If we are not successful here, I think people will be ready to go back and continue to have this conversation. And
Rosetta Okeson has worked on the Amendment 3 campaign and expects it to pass and take effect 30 days later. But that will just set the scene for more battles. Here's why. While Amendment 3 would nullify Missouri's strict abortion ban, there are other laws that would remain on the books, so-called trap laws, targeted regulation of abortion providers. Restrictions and requirements that were passed when abortion was legal in Missouri. They were designed to make getting an abortion more difficult, and they worked.
So after Missourians vote to change the Constitution, which I think they're going to do, we will then begin the process of challenging, as providers of abortion care, statutes that conflict with the newly established right. So we'll have to go.
Emily Wales is president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Great Plains, which covers central and western Missouri.
There will be a period of frustration. I think there will be, hopefully, great celebration on the evening of November 5th and then in that next week. But we will work very quickly to go to court and to say, we need your intervention now. It will likely be a period of a few months, hopefully not more, before we're able to reestablish care.
The court battles might well end up in the Missouri Supreme Court, which voted to keep Amendment 3 on the ballot, but only by a slim 4-3 majority. But former Chief Justice Michael Wolff distinguishes between that ruling and a constitutional issue.
There might be litigation coming, but the courts, generally speaking, will respect what the people put in the Constitution. Because our Constitution, unlike the U.S. Constitution, which is very hard to amend, ours gets amended practically every other year. Ours is the people's Constitution, and I think the courts are deferential to what is expressed in the words that the people enact.
From a legislative standpoint, what do you think may happen if it passes?
I'll have to leave it up to healthcare providers and their attorneys to figure out how to undo literally years of restricting reproductive rights. There's going to be a lot of things that have to be handled in the judicial branch, quite honestly. But I will say, as a state senator, what I suspect is that Republican politicians are going to attempt to undo the will of the people and undo the vote of the people. Republican politicians have been saying to their supporters, they've been saying even on record press interviews, that they plan to put forward an effort to repeal Amendment 3.
Yeah, so everybody, or on both sides of this issue, they've got their strategies no matter what happens.
Absolutely. I mean, they probably have their plans, pages of plans, and we have our ideas.
So as a lobbyist, when the legislature comes back into session, the new legislature, your work's cut out for you one way or the other.
It is even before that. I mean, pre-filing of bills and joint resolutions, of course, being proposed amendments to the Constitution, that begins on December 1st. Well, people are already not getting those drafted right now, but after Election Day on November 5th, they're going to their Senate and House research staff and saying, I want you to draft this. Or they're coming to me or people like me and saying, Sam, can we do this or should we do that?
Missouri's near-total abortion ban was passed in 2019 as a trigger law. That meant it would only become law if and when Roe v. Wade was overturned. And then it was. And here we are.
Been a lobbyist for 40 plus years, and the lawmakers who put that in that bill, they didn't expect it to, even necessarily in our lifetimes, for Roe to be overturned.
And I offered an amendment this past spring on the Senate floor to allow for exceptions just for survivors of rape or incest, and it got voted down on party lines. And I think that, you know, if they had accepted that amendment and we had immediately said, okay, if you are pregnant from rape or incest, that you can have access to abortion if you choose, that it would have taken a lot of the steam out of the effort for Amendment 3, but they would not do it.
I'll ask you as the reporter going forward, where do you think your focus is going to be after November 5th?
I anticipate if Amendment 3 passes, I will be spending a lot of time in courthouses.
Because this has been the most hotly fought out in the courts proposition I've seen in the 40 years or so, more than that I've been keeping track.
What makes it that? Is it just the issue itself, or is there something else I'm missing here in terms of...
I don't think you're missing anything.
No.
I think it is the issue itself.
Whatever the results of the Amendment 3 vote, the winners will set out to protect their victory, and the losers will be aiming for a rematch. I'm Jim Kircher. In collaboration with the Missouri Independent, this is 9 PBS Reports.